The following may contain language which will be offensive to some people and inappropriate for children. Still here? Then pour your favorite beverage and let's get this fucking show started.
Fantastic Forum, assemble! You're watching Fantastic Forum, the premier show about comic books and your live weekly conversation about entertainment and geek culture. We are the Fantastic Forum coming to you live and direct from the Hall of F. Hope you're having a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, or night, as the case may be, depending on where you are in the world. And if you're not, you just stick with us. We'll help you take it up a notch. You have the usual suspects in the building. First, he is a riddle inside of an enigma trapped in Chinese finger cuffs. You don't know him. You love him anyway. He's our silent assassin, Jay.
Hey.
Indeed. Next, he's the backbone, the pillar, the strength of Fantastic Forum, our nigh and vulnerable brawler, and resident strongman, Moses Magnum.
Jazz
hands. There it is. As for myself, my name is Lawrence Young. They call me Mary Young. Welcome to Fantastic Forum. Shout out to Oz. He'll be here shortly. But, you know, our intrepid senior reporter. But, you know, he's not here with us quite yet. So running behind. But he'll be here. Fret not, good people, all my Oz fans. But either way, we got a great show for you today. Because we are going to be talking to you all about Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, the latest MCU flick. And we're also going to be talking to you all about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur, the new animated flick from Disney. So, you know, Disney/Marvel. So we got that going on. And of course, whatever else it is that you all want to talk about. So we got that going on as well. And we'll tell you how it is. You can get down with Fantastic Forum in just a moment. But before we do all that, we want to make sure that we thank Mr. Scott Rubin, because without him, this show would not have happened. So thank you, Scott Rubin. Hope you're continuing to do well, good sir. And yeah, I will actually be seeing him soon. So I will see you.
Tell him to say hi.
I will do it. I will be like, Moses says hi.
He'll know what it means.
He'll know what it means?
Yeah.
Got it. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, sneaking in the back door. There he is. Uh-oh.
Sorry.
Oh, look. People are pinwheeling. Look, ladies and gentlemen, as I mentioned, our intrepid senior reporter, Oz, is here. How are you, Oz?
I like coming in the back door.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it. So you know. But
Yeah.
right.
It's funny.
No, I get it. You know, look, I can dabble in the innuendo and still keep it classy and just keep it moving, you know.
Larry likes a little mud on the helmet.
No, well, listen, I didn't say all that. I didn't say all that. I'm just, you know, dabble. So yeah, we told you what we're going to talk about. Thanks to Scott Rubin. How about we have the intern talk to us and tell us how it is that you all can get with the rest of us in the show? Let's go.
Want to get in on the action? Call Fantastic Forum on Skype and join the fun. Too shy to call in? That's okay. You can join the Discord chat room available at
FantasticForum.live.
Join the party. You know you want to.
Indeed. Thank you, intern. Appreciate you greatly. As the intern said, FantasticForum.live is where you go. You can call into the show directly if you want to talk about what we're talking about. You can also go ahead and go to the chat room, whether you're talking about Twitch, YouTube, and go ahead and drop a comment in there. We'll take it out of the chat and bring it directly into the show. Such as Jay, why don't you insert a witty chat comment here for us, buddy?
Hex says, fuck, I'm wearing the same shirt as Oz.
There it is. Hecht and Oz, twins. Makes sense. Don't look. They share similar politics.
I was like, I can't wear the same thing. Ugh.
He went to go change.
Yeah.
Oz, did you go? Oh, Oz, you didn't go change your shirt because Hecht is jocking your friend.
I might now. I actually do have a pile of shirts like right in front of me. No, I almost had a panic attack because I realized I left my phone 2 feet that way, and I had to go get it.
Oh, look!
Yeah,
I mean, you gonna be on your phone during the show?
Well, it just can't be that far away from me.
Got it.
Got it. I don't think you understand. That's like, even though the only person that possibly might send me a message right now is either my wife, who's right upstairs, or you guys who are right there.
Right, no, that's how I felt about it too. Like my phone is literally in a different room charging, and
yeah,
because I was like,
I just saw that message, so now I have to go.
I just hope he doesn't wear the
this guy.
I just got a McFarlane.
He doesn't wear the what?
I just bought a McFarlane Venom shirt that came in the mail yesterday.
Ooh, that's very nice. That's classic. Damn.
Yeah, and it's all black too, so there's no like. It's just the print is literally just the eyes and the teeth and the drool. Like
that's very cool. Yeah, that's very cool. I like that a lot. I'm looking in the chat. Heck says, all Mexicans look alike to you, Mayor? Yup. No, I'm joking. Obviously, all Mexicans do not look alike, Heck. Just you and Oz. No. Because you're wearing the same shirt.
The non-light skin one.
Anyway. So I guess we should. Oh, you changed your shirt, and you are wearing a Venom shirt. That's hilarious.
I wasn't going to, but I figure I should do it for the joke. Wait, are you wearing a Venom shirt too?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Nah, it's okay,
What is this fool doing? Why does he have so many shirts on hand like that?
It's what we do. Like,
okay.
I mean, really, like the only one that needs more like a show wardrobe fund is Jay. Like, I want to do that. I want to get him, take him clothes shopping, and just buy him a bunch of t-shirts.
It would not surprise me if Jay has plenty of comic and anime shirts that he just doesn't wear until he just doesn't wear on the show. He's like, oh, when I go out, I wear that. Joe's like, you can get my all black. You're welcome.
I don't have any. They don't fit me anymore. I got bigger, and my shirts I stayed the same size. So I need anime comic book shirts.
Somebody could corner the market on
like Hawaiian style ball t-shirts or
what?
We said again, Mo?
Those old, like in the 90s, there was a trend where there was these old like Dragon Ball Z shirts that were like or like Ninja Scroll, but they were like Hawaiian shirts, and they just had a big print of the anime or like Transformers.
Yeah, those were my favorites. Yeah. I like those.
They still make them.
I don't have them anymore.
Yeah, now they're like $75 a piece. I guess that's how they were back then too.
Yeah,
I could do this all
day.
But
I had more money back then.
Yeah, that's true.
I still have a Megatron shirt like that. It's like literally like Megatron across the giant friggin' front of the whole shirt. Which I honestly like. I love that shirt. Yeah. I can't see myself wearing it. Like, it just doesn't. It feels like, and that's crazy because me, I don't usually care about fashion, but that shirt feels like it's out of fashion. Like I should not wear that shirt anymore.
Yeah. But you
I
should
have-
just if you like it. Like I have a one that's all comic book print all around, and then I have like a Hawaiian shirt that's all skulls.
Mm-hmm.
I just wear it because I like it. And that's no different than your shirt, really.
Listen,
You should wear it
I
when you
like
go
it.
see the new Transformers movie.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, how dare you? How dare you? Listen, that's how you know I'm truly a man out of time at that point. Like this fool's paying money to go see the new Transformers movie in one of these random Transformers shirts from the early 2000s. It's like, no, man, look, understand, like I like the idea of the shirt. Like there's some things that I'm like, oh, I'm never gonna wear that again. So I just like give it away or throw it away or whatever, right?
Yeah.
That shirt I like too much to get rid of, but
Yeah.
I don't like it enough. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable in it wearing it because I'm just like, no, this feels like, it feels so out of fashion that I know. Like that's what I'm saying. Like it's like there's other things that I wear that are out of fashion too, and it doesn't matter to me because I'm like, no, like I like this. That joint feels like it's for a particular moment. You know what I'm saying? It's like wearing like a friggin' like I don't know. Like I'm trying to think of what the right analogy is. Like you know what it's like? It's like wearing like glasses that have like the year on them, like when you're like a New Year's. You know what I'm saying? Like if I walk out the house, keep in mind it's technically February, right? If I walk out the house with a pair of glasses that says, like 2023 on them, people are going to be like, what are you doing? Like New Year's was not even that long ago, right? But it's so like,
You can get away with that.
I don't think so.
You just
Until
tell them.
the end of the. I think you could get away with it until the end of the week.
Or the end of the
might
year.
have been yesterday. I think you could wear them in Mardi Gras.
I don't think so, man. I feel. Well, you can wear whatever you want to Mardi Gras. Like I probably would wear that Megatron shirt to Mardi Gras. Look, I wear it open with no shirt, nothing under it, just open, just.
Actually, yeah,
look, cats out here just throwing me beads.
You're right. You can't wear that anymore.
Yeah, today's Ash Wednesday.
Oh, well, see, there it is, done. It's over. The moment has passed. They're just throwing me beads. I'm like, I'm not trying to show y'all nothing. It's like we see him. We see him. I'm like, leave me alone. How dare you, sir? They're like, we like those chocolate ones.
Those Hershey Kisses.
There it is, see? But anyway. All right, gents. Listen. So, we're running a little bit behind today. So we didn't get the chance to hash this out before the show. So I'm gonna do some live production meeting type stuff real quick. How do y'all feel about doing like a 10-minute like review of Quantumania that's spoiler free before we get into?
I think it'd be a great thing to do if it were possible.
Is it not possible to talk about the movie without spoiling it for?
It depends. I think actually it is impossible. Like I've been looking on Instagram, and they show pictures that were in the trailer. Of MODOK in the trailer. Like I know exactly what picture they're showing, and I'll read the comments, and people are still saying, "Oh, you're spoilers," and blah blah blah. I'm like, dude, that was in the trailer, and
yeah,
they still think it's a spoiler.
It's wild. Well, I will say, I will mention that that Jay didn't get to see the movie, unfortunately.
Oh,
So
is
So we're about to do Jay a favor then.
What?
say what?
We're gonna do a Jay a favor today then.
Jay, you should have hit me up. I had a Disney screener. Like I couldn't get to see it, so my client made me go watch it, and you should let me know, man.
Oh. Okay. Next time I will do that.
Wait, so the one guy with like the monthly pass to watch movies didn't watch the movie?
Yeah,
What?
he went to watch it. And
Oh no, we were trying to do a group thing, and then it fell apart. And unfortunately,
It did.
it left me without time to go see it.
Oh, because Jay's the only one among us that like doesn't need to pay extra to watch a movie, right? You got that movie pass or something like that?
Right, yeah. I get to watch all the free movies I want.
Yeah. No, we were trying to see if we could go see it together over the weekend, but it didn't work out that way.
Oh, I'm
And
sorry
so-
you guys didn't have a good Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
no, we had a good Valentine's Day. That's why we didn't see the movie on Valentine's Day.
So, even though, yeah, like, I don't know, like,
Let's try to
lot
do
to spoil.
let's do the 10 minutes without it. Like, let's just go, and if we can make it, we make it. If we can't, we can't. 10 minutes might be a little long. I can guarantee 2 on my end.
There it is. Okay. All right. Well, shoot. Let's go ahead and huh?
I'm only doing it for Jay.
Makes sense. Let's go ahead and do the comic book theater theme, and let's do this.
Comic book theater.
Dang, Jay. Look, I'm gonna have to ask you off the bat, Jay. Why do you disrespect Ant-Man and the Wasp like this? Like, what did? Look, you're not giving Ant-Man his hyphen. You're not giving the Wasp the capitalization. Like, why? What did they do to
What are
you?
you talking about?
Oh, you didn't do this,
The capitalized?
The?
Yeah.
The is capitalized. Yeah, the Wasp. It's a yeah.
I've been calling it Wasp all this time, not the Wasp.
Well, but I mean, okay, but the title is like the is capitalized. I feel, and then Ant-Man definitely has a hyphen either way, a hyphen and a capital M.
No,
like
it's
Spider-Man.
like Spider-Man. You're supposed to do it without the hyphen.
Dude, see, why are you going to disrespect Spider-Man like that? Like
Yeah,
Spider-Man.
To be fair, if you look it up on Google, the way it's titled, "the" is not capitalized on neither Quantumania or the original Ant-Man and the Wasp. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, she's not the Wasp. She's Wasp.
Meh.
Yeah,
But Ant-Man is hyphenated.
Meh.
Yeah. Even Spider-Man is hyphenated. Like if you're trying to get bootleg Spider-Man comics, if you don't hyphenate it, you get nothing.
There it is. No, like Spider-Man. One of the few times you'll have Spider-Man like break the fourth wall in the comics is like he'll correct people on the hyphen. Like he'll mess around and be like, oh, like you'd be like, oh, you didn't say it with the hyphen. Don't forget the hyphen. Like, how does he know?
Spider-Man's the accountant down the street.
You get the real bootleg. Get the real bootleg, the Spader-Man, starring John Spader.
There.
I don't know who John Spader
Indeed.
is, but hey, I would
Right. Exactly. Oh man. Okay. So Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania. the latest installment in the MCU, kicking off Phase 5 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This movie is basically Ant-Man and the Wasp raising the stakes, right? Like, you know, the past.
No.
Raising the stakes because the past. Wait, can I get through the spiel, Oz?
Sure, go spill your propaganda. Go ahead.
Let's look. This is the spiel.
Go ahead, CNN.
The spiel is they're supposed to be raising the stakes, and this is a larger scale adventure than anything they've had previously in any other Ant-Man movie, and so you know, they're going on a friggin' galaxy, what feels like a galaxy-spanning adventure in the small confines of the microverse. Boston wants to be on camera, apparently. And
go ahead. Sorry, you still talking. Sorry.
Yeah.
And you said 10 minutes. I thought we would get to talk too, but go ahead.
Look, and so this is the entire basically like Ant family going into the quantum realm and fighting against Kang the Conqueror and his minions for the fate of the world. The fate of the world. So does it live up to those grandiose claims? What say you, Oz?
No. Who's next? Look, I'm just glad.
Wait, we said no?
Yeah. I'm just glad that this movie proved my my instincts correct when I was asking why they replaced Cassie Lang. I don't know why they're trying to push Catherine Newton on us. She's now ruined 2 movies that I could have enjoyed, and Home Chick from Endgame, Detective Pikachu.
Oh, okay.
Because you remember in that movie, I told you she comes in and she thinks she's in an actual anime where everybody else is doing like a serious movie.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
and who's the other chick from Endgame? Like
Furman.
What character?
Furman. It's Emma Furman.
Who is that?
That's the chick that played Cassie in Endgame.
You're saying that they should have just kept her, is what you're saying?
Yeah, she did more acting in that 1 minute that she was in Endgame than this chick does the whole movie.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay.
And we're doing spoiler free.
Yeah. Look, just for now.
We got like six. We got like 2 minutes left on this 10-minute review.
So yeah, she was bad. The movie was bad. The people that were good in it still did very dumb things that I can't talk about till we actually get to spoilers. Somebody else okay. I'm gonna start spoiling.
Okay, Moses, how did you feel about Ant-Man and the Wasp? Quantumania?
Spoiler free on its surface, the movie is a sci-fi adventure featuring a family in a Lost in Space style, and it delivers. It's fine. It's the wrong family that I wanted to see, but ultimately it does what it's supposed to do and unite a family. And
the family you wanted to see was
the Richards. Fantastic Four. Like to me, this movie was a Fantastic Four movie. It wasn't even I get it, it's not Fantastic Four. But I've read a Scott Lang led Fantastic Four team called FF.
Right.
And that still wasn't like it could have been this. And it still wasn't. So spoiler free, it raised the stakes. It did everything it's supposed to do. Yeah, good. Spoiler, we're gonna have a whole set of problems. I got 2 reviews.
I would disagree with the it raised the stakes part.
No, I mean the stakes are bigger. Like they have to fight a bigger threat. Like they don't. There's no denying that.
They don't.
just finding their way back home is a bigger threat, a bigger stake than the other two movies put together.
Spoiler free, so keep going because I'm about to tell you why that's wrong.
And here we are, raising the stakes T-shirts. Raise the stakes. There it is.
Worm.live.
I will say that I really, really wanted to like this movie. I knew there were going to be things about it I was going to dislike because, just with the trailer, I'm like, okay. Like, MODOK, I already knew was not going to be something that I personally was going to be a fan of. But I was like, it's only one part of a movie, And so I went into this really like I was ready and like wanting it to win. And I don't know, man. I came out and I just was like, this movie is not like when cats mess around and talk about, they say, stuff about the Marvel Cinematic Universe and movies being formulaic and trash and all this kind of stuff. I'm like, oh man, like cats are just out here. Like there's some people that hate on Marvel.
Cats.
Right. Like there's some people that hate on Marvel because it's like, it's like everybody else likes it. So it's popular or not popular, but it's like, a way to separate yourself from the crew, you know what I'm saying? Separate yourself from the pack. And it's like, yeah, okay, fine. Like, you're everyone's entitled to like and dislike what they want. But I feel like this is probably the first movie that I've watched where I'm like, ooh, like it feels like all those criticisms are pretty valid in this movie. And that's a hard pill to swallow. Because it's just like don't get me wrong, like there's some aspects of this that are definitely good, but overall, it's hard to be like, oh, like this is a good flick, especially in light of the Ant-Man franchise as a whole. Because one thing that I'll say about this,
Sorry, go ahead. No,
I was gonna say one thing I'll say about this is that I feel like a lot of the charm and a lot of the personality that makes the Ant-Man franchises distinct from other Marvel movies feels very much lost on this particular entry. And it's like, I mean, love it or hate it, because, some people, again, like there are people that didn't like Ant-Man and the Wasp or didn't like, even the original Ant-Man. So, but this, I'm like, damn, like, it lost a lot of what made Ant-Man special to me in this movie.
This movie's trailer made it seem like this was going to be the serious movie. Like this is like,
in
fact, me and you, Lawrence, had a conversation where I was telling you, dude, I think people are not going to be ready for Kang. I think when Kang shows up and does Kang things, people are going to freak out. And I've never been so wrong about a character in my life. In fact, the moments where they could have this serious, impactful thing happening, they have to throw in a stupid joke that just kind of kills it.
That's spoiler territory, man. We can't respond to that. Like, what's the timer at? We got like 37 seconds left. Like, what's the?
I don't know. What were you gonna say before, Mo?
No. That like I can't hold the first two Ant-Man as like this is like, oh man, this third movie, like, because I didn't like those two, You
didn't like either one of those Ant-Man movies?
No, I hated the first one. I hated Yellow Jacket. I hate cinematic Scott Lang. Like, he's not like comic Scott Lang. So,
right.
He's more Eric O'Grady. And then they got Paul Rudd so they could feel like Scott Lang, because he's got those like dreamy eyes or whatever. But Eric O'Grady is like, is this fucking this irredeemable, man? That's what they were going for, and that's what that script got jumbled up into. And either way, it's like if that Yellow Jacket was part of that original script, then that's bullshit too, you know. Second, the second movie was good. I like Ghost, but Ghost had no real personality, and I like the effect and I like the little bit of story, but it was really everybody around Ghost that really you wanted to give a fuck about. And then the character that I've been waiting to see turns out to be a villain, Black Goliath, And I'm like, man, fuck this movie too, Now the movie itself was funner, but it's like, I don't want to see Ant-Man for fun.
Okay.
Like, I want to see I want to see him, I want to see Hank Pym get fractured by the weight of being an Avenger. Even the movie, the cinematic universe used a little bit of that PTSD for Iron Man, and they still didn't even do it that great. And that was on the great parts of the MCU. And I want to see him get fractured into becoming Yellow Jacket and damaging his relationship with Janet Van Dyne. Here, the most fractured they got in their relationship was like, oh, I had dinner once too. So it's like that's the closest I got to like them splitting up or anything at the weight of being heroes. Like a better MCU for like a fourth Ant-Man movie would have been Janet Van Dyne, just based on the shit she went through in the quantum realm, So I can't, like, when you use those two first movies as an example of like what a third one should feel like to me, this is the better of those two, even with its faults.
Okay, no, that's fair, and that's a like. It's good to get an opinion because, like you said, if you're like, hey, I wasn't actually that big of a fan of the first two Ant-Man films, but this one is a little bit closer to what I was hoping to see. Yeah, no, that's an opinion worth sharing because, yeah, like I think, like I don't know, like there's only so many of us that may have that opinion, so it's good to hear it.
So you like the What If Yellow Jacket?
I'm sorry, what?
So you like the Yellow Jacket and What If?
I don't even think I've seen that yet.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
you haven't finished What If?
Nah, man.
You should.
It's exactly what you just said. Original Hank Pym, old ass Hank Pym, fractured from.
Oh yeah, I did see that. Yeah, that was all right. Yeah, it still wasn't like the comic. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that was fine. But it's too late. Too little, too late. Like, like what if Paul Rudd versus Hank Pym, Yellow Jacket? Then we're talking. All of a sudden, the secret villain was fucking. Imagine like a Mask of the Phantasm, but it's with Hank Pym and Yellow Jacket, and then all of a sudden, it turns out that fucking it's the Hank Pym, the dude that kind of recruited him because he's too frail. Yeah.
Yeah,
that would, it better, but it's Disney. Like, it's for kids.
What you're talking about the Marvel
whole
movies
franchise?
in general?
Yeah, like especially when they do the funner ones, like your Ant-Man. Like that, they're banking on kids wanting like an Ant-Man toy that grows when you throw it in water or some bullshit.
I miss those toys.
Look, I was just about to sound like Mo out here talking about.
Did your mom think you had drugs? They look like
I like both.
Throw them in the water.
Yeah,
I remember that conversation.
Talking these hilarious. Okay. So we're gonna get into some spoiler territory, folks. So if you haven't seen Ant-Man and the Wasp, Quantumania, and you don't want to know anything at all about the movie, now's the time for you to.
We need to get like a
check out
alert thing.
Right. So, right. Yeah. the spoiler symbol, right? Right. But
Kirby.
you know, right. You know. So just so you know, spoilers are coming. So let's dive into it. So Moses, why don't you talk about why this was a better Ant-Man movie for you? Like, yeah, what was it about it that made you like it more than the other two installments?
The other two are playing on the fact that, well, even this one to a degree plays on the fact that Scott Lang is a thief, and you know, a reformed thief, and he has to use those skills instead of his science skills, which is like that's like he's still a scientist, you know, like so they focus more on the thievery than the science. This one doesn't it focuses on the science as a whole as a theme for Ant-Man's story, even though he's still recruited for being a thief. And so that's the little drawback, but this felt more like a sci-fi adventure, and that's what I like about Ant-Man books. Even if it's like shit, even the Atom books. You know, like, yeah, it's a sci-fi adventure, even though he's just fighting ants with a sword because he got so tiny. But it's still like a funny little adventure using sci-fi gadgetry. The other ones, it's like they use a sci-fi gadgetry as like, oh, that's just the little tool to like, oh, make a big ass Thomas the Tank Engine train, or use toy cars to film this scene, you know, like. And even this movie did it for a little bit, but it was his daughter doing it instead of like the movie relying on that because it takes place in the quantum realm. So this one felt like it almost felt like black science, like, oh, by accident they both get transported and lost together, and then it takes it another step by separating the group, and you get one group going one way, one group going another, and now part of the story is them finding each other and not finding and you discovering the circumstances of which they find each other and the state of this place. That felt a little more like a sci-fi adventure, like a Lost in Space type, and all that, which is what I would want to see in a Fantastic Four movie, but I'm getting it here, and I'm okay with getting it here because it is still the Pymverse, and that's still a thing, so it works. But you know, I wish Hank knew more about it than everybody else around them. You know, because it is the Pymverse, you know. But that's MCU. You know, in the end, they're all just fucking variants, so it doesn't really matter what I like about these characters, but it's the execution, and that takes me to this movie as a whole. It's like, yeah, it does its adventure, it does its action. Its action is relied heavily on the same shit they would have done on Earth, which is either growing or shrinking. And I know it's a good for Ant, but it's still like, you know, he still has a brain that critically analyzes everything else. I mean, everybody in that, everybody in there is a genius in the sense, you know. There's no real like their real superpowers are intelligence, you know. You know, the Pym particles are just a byproduct of them using their intelligence to solve problems.
Now, you know, I definitely hear what you're saying, and it is interesting because I think you're right where you're like when you say it'd have been nice if Hank Pym like kind of knew more about this stuff than some of the other folks, and you know, it's like it's wild because both Hank Pym and Hope kind of get lost in the background of this movie. Like it's almost like, you know, they're just there until like key moments where they're like, oh yeah, I'm in the movie too, you know, which is a wild. Yeah, like it like, you know, it's like literally like Hank Pym spent a good portion of this movie just in the background with a confused look on his face, and it's just like, you know, and I mean, I guess that's the story that we're being told, and so, you know, but it's just like it would have been nice if, especially considering like, you know, you're paying Michael Douglas to be there, right? Like Like it would be nice if we give him something to do. You know?
From the trailer, I didn't know he was in it. I thought it was 4 people going into the Quantumverse.
Yeah,
I knew he was in it, but
that's one of the problems with the movie is, you have all these people that are just there, and you can do stuff with them that'll make this movie more impactful, and you just don't. Like when we had that Kang conversation, what I honestly expected would happen was Kang would take out Hank and his wife first. Like just take them out. Maybe there would be some fight or something. Take them out, and you get that point in the trailer where Ant-Man says, "I don't have to win. We just both have to lose." I thought that meant that they would both be trapped in the quantum realm, and maybe only Cassie gets out. And that's the impetus of the next movie is okay. They're trying to something like that, and then you don't know is Ant-Man gonna live? Is he not? Is he being tortured? What's happening? Like all that would have had a lot more impact than basically everybody goes in, stuff happens, everybody comes out. The end is almost exactly like the beginning.
Right. And that is very real, where it's like almost there's almost no difference status quo wise from when the movie started to when it finishes, at least from the perspective of the characters, which, and even as an audience member, I feel like it's very, very small, the difference, which I guess, who knows, maybe someone might be like, oh, that's appropriate for Ant-Man, but I agree with you in that regard, Oz. Oz, why don't you talk about why this isn't, from your perspective, why this isn't oh wait, hold on. Before I ask you this question, I just see a comment in chat from GZ Dr. Forev. Says the audience was hoping they all died to bring on Phase 5. We are ready for new actors. Damn.
And not even
I don't know if
not even new actors or everybody dies. I just expected Kang to be more of a threat.
Yeah. I mean, well, here's what I'll say, or here's what I'll do this. I'll go back to the question I was going to ask you, Oz. What makes this, in your opinion, a less effective Ant-Man movie than the previous two, if you feel that way? Because I'm assuming you do, just because if I remember right, I feel like you like the other two more so than what you're talking about this one.
I like the first one. The second one I liked not as much as the first.
Right.
And this one,
do remember that.
Then this one is just bad. First of all, it's a lesser movie because it's the Ant-Man movie without Michael Pena in it. So already you've lost like 50% of your goodness. There's a word in there somewhere.
No, I look. And the sad fact of the matter is, I agree with you. Like, I really did feel like he should have been in the movie. I do. And I'm not saying he needed to be on the adventure, but he could have been in the movie.
For what?
I don't know. But it feels like continuity.
He has no purpose in the first two.
Listen. You're look, don't chide me about why people should and shouldn't be in this movie, and MODOK is in it. Okay?
Hey, look, I haven't talked about
Michael Pena makes more sense in this movie than MODOK does.
You know what? He could have been doing his own spin on the.
They could have both just not been in it. I'm good with that. I'm not defending MODOK.
No. Yeah. And that's the thing. That's the whole thing. Look, here's the thing. Like, he could have even just been in the beginning of the movie.
I'm in hell, my
before they even leave to go to the quantum realm. Like, he could have been in the beginning of the movie because they're friends. You know what I'm saying? And he's talking to somebody. Like we had 2 full scenes of this fool at Baskin Robbins. Yeah. I don't need him at Baskin Robbins at all. But one of those scenes could have been Michael Pena. And that wouldn't have been out of character because this was closer to that character than he is the manager at Baskin Robbins. We had 2 full scenes of this fool at a sandwich shop or a coffee shop.
Yeah.
It's like there's all of this like fluff that's unnecessary that doesn't make it.
Like I wanted that out too. Like I don't want Michael Pena.
Okay, and that's fair. Like I get it. Like you don't like him. I'm just saying that they kind of set a tone for what Ant-Man movies are like, and it kind of feels like he's a part of that.
Look, if you look, I don't know. If you guys really think that's what's wrong with this movie, then
they also ruin, like I said earlier, they ruin like the scenes that should be serious, like where you should be feeling like, okay, something could happen here. Like when Ant-Man is splitting into different possibilities, and then suddenly you get Baskin Robbins,
right?
Ant-Man.
Yeah,
that's
like
what you get out of it. And not only do they do it once, but then when you get to the moment where okay, they're pulling together, they're working together, I can see, they're doing something. There he goes again. He's got to show up. Like it kills the moment. They're constantly like they got to take off their helmet every time they say something. I don't know why they can't talk with their helmets on. The writers at one point forget that they're in the quantum realm. As Cassie is like, oh, I need citrus because I grew big, to the point that these freaking corporate review sites are like trying to see, well, how tall did he get, comparing like the size of the people under Ant-Man's foot. Like, oh, this is the biggest he's ever been. And they're like, he's in the fucking quantum realm.
Right. Definitely not the biggest he's ever been.
It's technically microscopic.
Yeah, he's still like less than an atom. He didn't grow to be no 100 foot tall or whatever the hell you just said. He was the size of an atom, maybe.
Right.
Like, it's just
maybe a quirk.
Maybe whatever. He's not. That's not the tallest he's ever been, and it's not even the smallest he's ever been because he grew up from being like it's so stupid. Yeah, the writers forget what they're writing about, and then these corporate sites are kind of just sucking their dick about it because I don't for whatever reason I don't.
Same reason Baskin Robbins is in this marketing.
At least Baskin Robbins makes sense. Like they kind of fit that into until you get the random him in the Baskin Robbins outfit. Yeah. Like at least at the beginning it kind of makes sense. At the end it kind of makes like they try. But they spend more time weaving Baskin Robbins into this story than what actually is happening.
Characters.
Yeah, than the characters.
The moment that you cast Scott Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, like to me, I knew like the seriousness. They're not gonna. None of the seriousness is there.
Oh, you're breaking up, Mo. Say it again.
The moment they cast Paul Rudd as Scott Lang, I knew like none of where it should be serious is not going to be serious because you don't get Paul Rudd to be your serious guy.
Also, Kang, every new iteration of him we see is just getting weaker and weaker.
Well, no, I have a theory on Kang. Like, we'll get to that a little later.
Let me tell Lawrence why I think so. The first Kang we see, He Who Remains. I guess I should call him Nathaniel Richards because he's not really Kang. He Who Remains, to me, was the most powerful one because he won. He beat all his variants and he made the one timeline. And in fact, the only reason he gets defeated is because he says, "Go ahead, kill me. I've been around too long. Just go ahead and kill me." Like, but when you kill me, this is gonna happen. Unless you do this, and this will happen. But do it. Okay, so now he's gone, the most powerful one. Then apparently this Kang was so powerful he had to be exiled because everybody was worried about him. I don't know why they didn't just kill him, but they exiled him, and then he's taken out. Like Ant-Man and Wasp is like whatever. He's nothing. They took him out. So now we're getting lesser Kangs each movie.
See, I would disagree with that.
I think He Who Remains.
My theory with this Kang is that he might be the He Who Remains, but also that he's the good one. He's the one that was trying to kind of fix things and you know, but he's still a Kang, but he needs to stop these other motherfuckers from really fucking shit up.
Mm-hmm.
I have
know?
heard that. I've heard that theory that he is who he who remains, because when he's talking to Loki, he says, "Oh, I've been called a conqueror," and they called him a conqueror, like all that. And so him, like, he's really just been put somewhere else outside of space and time, and is gonna come back as he who remains, because that's how it happened the last time, and that's how it always happens.
Somebody could have done a weird time loop in another quantum or multiverse of madness, and now he's a variant, and he beat the TVA and became He Who Remains. Yeah.
So
he doesn't beat the TVA. He would start the TVA.
Oh, essentially, yeah. But I in the time loop situation, he would stop it to create it.
Yeah, because
he doesn't. Because
Capcom chat is saying that this is because he was exiled because he was too evil. It may not be that he was too evil; is that he's the one that could stop all the other ones, and all the other ones are evil.
Could be. Like,
I feel that at the end of it, it's not. I won't see in Rick and Morty. Sorry.
What freaked Janet Van Dyne out was that he was taking out entire timelines, and that's what He Who Remains did, right? You would take out timelines, and it would just be the one.
Anybody that fixes a situation that could be created from too many incursions is essentially a universal genocide artist, and but he's doing it to keep at least one timeline safe. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's saving these people by destroying this other people.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The ones that splintered off.
That's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I will say that I do feel like Jonathan Majors to me was like 100% the best part of this movie. To the point that it almost feels like he's in a different movie than everybody else is in. Like, which is wild because, like,
it's like
as much as okay.
No, you go ahead, Larry. I'll say it after.
Okay, I was gonna say, like, as much as I was like, man, like, I'm not sure this movie is living up to expectations. It's like he was like more than capable of doing his part. Like, it almost makes everything else around him look worse. And it's like he's like, I 100% believe he can but he can rise to whatever occasion is necessary for him to fulfill in Kang Dynasty and potentially in Secret Wars or Secret War if he's in that in a significant way as well. Because like the dude was great as Kang. And it's crazy because there's even moments where I'm just like small things that I would have liked to have seen done maybe differently, or I would have done different myself. But at the same time, when I'm watching him do it, I'm just like, man, it feels good. It feels good. You know what I'm saying?
Little gestures, like they're running away from him, and he like trips up like neurokinetically, because telekinetically, barely is neurokinetically. So he's like he's weaponized in the way that he has. So it's like they're running away from him. He's just like, and then they just trip, you know. But it's almost like he's living in all the timelines of Phase 5 and knows what to do here so that he could do it well in another movie. That's called acting, Larry. He's all good at it.
So,
but he's because he is playing so many different versions of Kang. It's almost like being in this movie, being in Loki, being in other things. It's like he has to be at the peak as an actor himself to be able to do these, to give nuance to the last scene in Loki and this last scene here, and then the mid-credit scene and post-credit scene. One thing I did enjoy was I did like the probability, Scott Lang's, where like, and even how Janet did the same thing but more intuitively. It's like, okay, you have the one, so all your probabilities are focused on that, and that to me is a bigger, higher concept, because I did use my my pin particle when I watched the movie, and they that's part of the problem with Kang. Like, I might even spoil Kang Dynasty for you, and it's you have all these different Kangs because they're in a multiversal probability conflict, that, and they all have their own conquering methods and drives, and they can't even get it together, and that's why you got this one exiled, because it could probably rally the two. But that's just my pin particles talking that I inhaled.
Yeah. Can we talk about MODOK a little bit?
You mean no doc?
Ah, boo.
You like that at the barbershop.
Dude.
But yeah, talk about
MODOK,
Sugarman, man.
MODOK might very well be my least favorite Marvel character, like beyond Sugarman now. In all of like comics, like Marvel comics, dumb. Because
in pop culture,
it's so bad. And here's the thing. There's a part of it that's bad for me just because it's like it doesn't make sense for MODOK to be in that situation. But hey, like we've had like MCU characters be in situations that seem different, and you know, it's like Mo mentioned earlier, you kind of like, oh, it's a variant, you know.
I was mad then too.
What?
I was mad then too. MODOK's not new for me.
Right. But you know, it's a variant, and sometimes, you know, it's like even when you're talking about friggin' like when you're talking about the Ultimate Universe, it's like people do things different and act different in the Ultimate Universe in those comics than they do in the mainstream Marvel universe. And you know, it's fun, or at least it's more fun, because you're just like, oh, hey, you know, it's something different. And I wanted to feel that way about this MODOK, even though I was like, it doesn't look good. But it's just it's so bad on every level. Like, it doesn't make sense for him to be there. The character doesn't act like MODOK acts in any iteration. Like if you had asked me if I would like if the Patton Oswalt MODOK would be a preferential MODOK to another version, I'd be like, probably not. Like, that would be, in my opinion, I mean, that's probably the worst MODOK. Yeah. Now I'm like, absolutely not. Like, this is like Patton. I wish they had done Patton Oswalt's version MODOK in this movie. Like, I wish that had happened. Like, the kids could have been there. The little big-headed son. I wish that was. I would have preferred that to what we got. And then it's like, okay. Oh, I'm sorry. Is it the daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, the big-headed daughter. I'm sorry. Look. Then on top of that, it's like, okay, it doesn't make sense for that character to be there, but okay, fine. It doesn't act like, or it doesn't act like how MODOK acts in any way, shape, or form. Okay, fine. But then it's like, okay, well, but does it do what it's supposed to do in the function of the film? And I'm like, I don't think so. Like, I don't think that this is like, I feel like what they wanted, the purpose they wanted MODOK to fulfill in the movie, and what the audience's actual reaction is, are diametrically opposed. Like, I don't think that they intended for MODOK to be what it ends up being. And I could be wrong about this, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's literally an eyesore. Like MODOK comes on the screen, and I'm like, dude, I wish I could turn this off.
Even
and I'm like,
with
man,
the mask is one thing. Like I know you got to do the face like MODOK, so and you got to do a redesign. So like that face, I'm like, okay, he's just a robot. I didn't know. I'd never seen him unmasked, and I was like, I know Oz talked about a mask, and I'm like, there's a mask? Like I don't get it. And then when they actually see it, it's like the effect itself is bad, and it's like it doesn't even look like I can see like you do that design because you want the actor wants to be seen. That it doesn't look like the actor that plays him.
Dude, it's such a weird choice. And I know for me, like every moment I was watching MODOK, I was thinking like, why did they pick this character? Like, why couldn't we just like? I was literally in my head thinking of other people, like other characters that could have been. It's none of them would have made sense, but it would have been less jarring than what we're getting on the screen. Like because it's like Kang doesn't have like Kang is pretty self-sufficient. You know what I'm saying? Like he's not the dude that has like a whole bunch of underlings usually that are like, are noteworthy. Like he might have like some troops or some random group of people that will do what he says in the moment. Say again?
Like AIM guys? Like
no, I'm talking about Kang. I'm talking about Kang, not
sorry.
Yeah, no, Kang doesn't have lackeys, you know what I'm saying? Like and right, like MODOK has lackeys.
They're all like Kang bots, right? Like he has kind of like
I mean, right, like he'll have automated things sometimes, but like honestly, Kang rolls solo a lot. Like Kang rolls solo a lot, and he might have like he has. Sometimes he'll have like an army he builds up, but the army isn't to like as much fight for him as much as like part of the machinations. You know what I mean? It's like the army's a distraction, which is so crazy. But I was just like, what who my first thought, like, because I'm like, okay, they wanted to bring this actor back, obviously, right? And they wanted to give him a storyline. My first thought was like, if they wanted to have like a villain from like a Marvel villain that this guy could have been, and it just be like, okay, like something that would be like interesting, I guess is, because I'm assuming that's what it was. Like they were like, MODOK is different and so I'm just like, my first thought was like, why not use, like, they could have made him like Silvermane, which is kind of a deep cut, but still, like, I don't know that it's that much deeper of a cut than MODOK. You know what I mean? Where it's like, I don't think people know who MODOK is. I don't think people know who Silvermane is. The only thing is that Silvermane is technically, I think, a Spider-Man villain. And so I'm like, oh, that might be like a rights thing. So maybe they couldn't use like Silvermane. Not that that was a thought they had. I'm not saying that was like on the table. I'm just saying like, okay, like if someone brings up that suggestion, that's a suggestion they may not be able to use because they might have to have like ask Sony for permission.
Could they use
to
Could they have used Gucci Mane?
Gucci Mane? Probably not. But yeah, and that's Silvermane there. Like, like the dude, like you could have the guy's face and it could still be like a little bit of a CGI kind of spectacle. And he could still be an assassin. And it would work and it would be less jarring, I think, than what we would have gotten. But okay, so if you can't use Silvermane, the other person that came to mind for me was like, they could have totally made him like Cyber, the Wolverine villain, because like they own that outright. since they bought Fox. And Cyber is not a villain that you're going to be using for Wolverine in movies, or you're not going to use Cyber for the X-Men, because it's like the dude, honestly, the dude is he's pretty generic. Like, he, in some ways, he's like what's wrong with comics in the 90s. But at least you're going to be like, okay, like, you could have had, like, you know, like, again, your CG kind of spectacle, and this fool could have taken off that mask, and you could have seen the actor and would have known who he was, you know? And it's like he just has his head on this weird body, you know what I'm saying? Which it would have been probably less jarring than what we actually ended up getting, with this fool looking like somebody was stretching the whatchamacallit, like stretching his face out. Derek H says, at that point, why not just use Death Locket, which I'm sure he means Deathlock. Yeah. Like, Deathlock is definitely somebody that I thought, like, might, you know, the only thing I was thinking is maybe they're like, well, they use that in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. But
it wasn't,
you know.
It's a variant. It's a variant.
I mean, I don't know. Like, you're like, we're trying to say Coulson didn't exist?
I want my Deathlock to not have a face. Like, it's mangled like zombie. Yeah.
Yeah, hey, I get it. You know. So, but there are just so many other characters I feel like would have made more sense and probably could have been like more functionally effective for what they were trying to do, and like that arc would have been better having used one of those kinds of characters as opposed to MODOK, which I'm just like, ugh. I don't know. I'm not even actually sure what they were trying to do. Like, I don't know if they're trying to play him. There's Deathlock there. Yeah. I don't know if they're trying to play him for laughs mostly, or I mean, I know they gave him like, it's just a crazy thing. Say what?
I wasn't laughing.
Nah, nor was I.
I mean, I hated Yellow Jacket, and then you know what? How are we gonna fuck with Moses a little more and make Yellow Jacket MODOK?
Right. No, it feels personal. It feels like they're trying to make you angry specifically.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man. I don't know. It was all in all, the movie was a weird experience, because while it does introduce us to Kang, and that is something that is definitely like worthwhile, it just feels like none of these other people in this movie should be anywhere around Kang. So
it really reaffirmed my initial thoughts of like, why bother with a Kang? Like, why bother putting Kang in an Ant-Man movie? Like, you know, and it kind of reaffirmed that, like, that you lose a little bit of the credibility. It's almost like if the Guardians had to fight Thanos, in the first Guardians movie, and they still did that fight scene, that dance scene.
Or they should have made Jonathan Majors a Kang variant as MODOK.
What?
Put Jonathan Majors' face on that.
Oh, dude, it'd be so bad. Oh my god.
Wouldn't have been as bad unless you get a decent actor in the mix.
Yeah,
I got an image of what MODOK should have looked like.
Mechanic organism designed only for Kang, or conquering with a K.
Yeah. Jay just put up before, and shout out to Derek H. He was actually talking about Death Locket specifically. I forgot about Death Locket, and so that was the picture that you saw of the young.
I think everybody forgot about Death Locket.
Yeah, like that. Like Death Locket was originally in Avengers Arena, right, Jay?
No.
Was that Avengers Arena? Where was she in?
Academy.
Or was it? Was she in Avengers Academy?
I think so.
Oh, okay. For whatever reason, I thought she was in Arena, but yeah, but I thought it was like definitely in that area. Like
She was in the Murder World, the arcade thing.
that's Avengers Arena, isn't it?
Avengers Arena.
Okay. Like, all right. So you weren't going to be like, oh no, yeah, you were right. You're just like, no, she was in the Murder World thing. Like, that's the same thing I just said.
I'm only half here, half out there getting shit to put on screen.
I got you.
Said World, it didn't say Avengers Academy. Or Avengers
got you. Yeah.
Yeah, Larry.
Indeed. So yeah, like, oh, did your picture get up, Oz?
No, I gave up.
No, put it back. I'll make sure it gets up. I thought Joe was about to put it up, but put it back. We'll get it up there.
It's not funny.
So, oh, okay. No.
Hold on.
Was it funny to begin with?
A little bit.
It was in the realm of funny. Oh my God, is that Biggie Smalls?
That would have been some shiznit.
Crown says Jay Kirby.
Yeah.
Right.
Listen, I'm actually not mad at that. That actually
better than what we got, right?
That should have been in if Biggie wasn't killed here in the quantum realm and they rebuilt his body.
Biggie was in the quantum realm. Oh my God.
That would have been better. I would have accepted that better than Yellow Jacket 2.0 / Sugar Man project.
Damn.
Because he did become Sugar Man as soon as he put that mask on, and then he grew those other limbs with weapons on them. Like that was straight up Sugar Man.
Like, I'm very taken aback by how good that looks.
I might need to buy
Big
that.
Big Man 24/7 says looks like he could spit mad rhymes for real.
Hit like and subscribe, and if I ever buy this, I'll unbox it.
Yeah.
There it is. I'm blown away by like that's the mashup I never would have thought would work, but it looks, and who knows? Like I guess I'm gonna have to put the caveat in. I am coming off a quantum.
I think I was just looking at MODOK sculptures.
You just put Black MODOK in your Bing search?
No, I think I was looking up MODOK sculptures, and I guess because they got this guy, and then I guess this is the art it's based on. I don't know who makes it or what. It's just like I saw it, I was like, ooh, I clicked it.
Yeah, no, that's very cool.
Larry pouring it straight into the mic.
Sorry, you know what? I am. It is that my cup is close to the mic. I apologize. But yeah, man. So, and then the other thing too is here's the part that blows me away that I'm kind of like, I don't understand. Like, so we have this Bill Murray cameo, right?
Yeah,
and I know that. Like that's in the trailer that Bill Murray is in the movie. But I'm just like, for what we ended up getting, I'm like, I feel like maybe we should have redistributed that money to the CG budget. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm just like I like Bill Murray. And, I'm not saying that I wouldn't want to see him in a Marvel movie at some point if it makes sense. Like I don't need Bill Murray, but I'll take Bill Murray. But there's a friggin' like at some point you gotta have to weigh, like, I'm sure there's a lot of focus and a lot of time and energy that went into making sure that Bill Murray had what he needed in order to do the scene that he was in. And it might only be a day from time perspective. I don't know. It could have only been a day. And I don't know what it is financially because I don't know what Bill Murray costs, but I'm just saying, I guarantee you we could have paid at least one additional animator the amount of time it would cost to work for the course of this movie, probably, instead of Bill Murray, and maybe it wouldn't have been a good MODOK, but it would have looked better. You know what I mean? Like that, I would have preferred that than Bill Murray. That part could have been played by anybody. And I'm just like, man, that's crazy. Yeah.
He didn't even have the Corsair beard.
Big Man 24/7 says there's a story out there about movies VFX guys blaming the priority on Wakanda Forever for their lack of effects. So Wakanda Forever got the effects budget over Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. Is that what we're saying?
And that goes back to my argument. Like, if we would have cut out Ironheart and the Iron Angels out of the movie, like, it would have been shorter and they would have had more money for Ant-Man.
I mean, listen, I don't know why we would go and lessen Wakanda Forever in order to make Ant-Man good when we could have. There's plenty of places you can cut. You can change Ant-Man and make it a better movie inside of itself. Like
yeah, we don't.
Yeah, a different writer.
We don't need Bill Murray just to let Hank know that his wife was just banging anybody in the quantum realm.
Hey, look, technically, Hank Pym at least knows that he had the bigger dick.
Did he?
Well, yeah, because the other guy was quantum sized.
It's less than micro. It's like atomic penis.
Yeah, subatomic penis size. Like, it's smaller than
subatomic penis.
Yeah, suck my cork.
Suck my cork.
Cork sucker.
Yeah, man. So I don't know, dude.
At one point that was the size of the universe, and then Big Bang.
Again, that's where penises were small too.
Yeah. So I don't know, man. They're just decisions that were made in this film that I'm just like, man, I don't quite understand it. And yeah.
Every now and then, like, I'll watch something and I'm like, man, Scorsese's full of shit, man. And then I'm like, you watch this, I was like, this is why people don't like these movies. Yeah. Like, every time Mark Maron shits on people for liking Marvel movies, like, this is why.
And this is why last week I said I don't trust that Flash trailer. Because the Ant-Man trailer made me think it was going to be a completely different movie than what we got.
I agree. I agree with you on that. You're right. And I remember you saying that when we were talking about it. And like, not just the Flash trailer, but when the Ant-Man trailer came out. And I'm like, I was just out here being cynical. But at the same time, though, I will say that, most of the other trailers have delivered. This is the exception, in my opinion. Because, like when we talk about movies like No Way Home, that joint delivered. I know that there's people that feel differently, but I personally felt like Multiverse of Madness delivered. You know what I mean? It's like all these movies have had these trailers, and it's like, dude, these joints they live up to the hype, and even deliver beyond that. And so I was thinking, like, Ant-Man's gonna follow suit. But I definitely enjoyed watching the trailer much more so than I did watching the movie outside of Jonathan Majors. Like, if Kang is on the screen, we're good. Unfortunately, that's like only half the time. And yeah. So I don't know. I mean,
the next Marvel movie is Guardians of the Galaxy. Yay.
Don't remind me.
It's the last one, then it's over.
I'm not even like celebrating my birthday that year because of that movie.
Yeah, man.
Poe's gonna go to that movie on his birthday like he's going to a funeral.
No, I'm not going to the theater for that.
Oh, you're
I don't want
going.
to see.
No,
No, I ain't going.
Yeah,
I ain't going.
Oh, but you are.
I'm actually gonna be in Chicago there then. So.
Oh, then we're going.
No, we're not.
I will drive the 3 hours, and we will go to that.
Oz will show up. Oz will show up.
Yeah,
but that's the thing where the messed up part is the Guardians of the Galaxy trailer in and of itself has already, for me, just been like, I don't think I'm gonna like that movie. Like it's not giving me any of the things, that I really want from Guardians. And the one part of it that I'm actually like kind of interested in seeing is just like what they do with Adam Warlock, and it does kind of seem like it might be some classic, huh?
It's too late, right? Shouldn't it come out around Thanos time?
I mean, what they're doing, here's the thing: like Adam Warlock. Obviously, his claim to fame is the Infinity Gauntlet, but technically, Adam Warlock was a character before the Infinity Gauntlet happened, and there is stuff that did happen before that it feels like they might be touching on in this movie, and that might be the only thing for me where I'm like, oh, that's interesting to see an interpretation of that, like. Adam Warlock as the hero of Counter Earth is something that.
So based on the trailer so far, you feel like confident that you're gonna might be okay seeing James Gunn's interpretation of Adam Warlock and those events.
I mean, I'm not saying that I feel confident that. Like I feel like based on what I've seen. That might be the role, like how they insert Adam Warlock into the narrative. I don't know that I'll like it, but that's like literally like one of those things where, like in the same way how I don't know that I would have ever thought that I would have seen Rocket Raccoon and Groot on screen in live action, is the same way how, like if I thought I would ever see Adam Warlock, I thought it would be Infinity Gauntlet. And then that happened without him. And so now they're like, oh, we're still doing Adam Warlock. And it's like, oh, well, it looks like they're going to do like some old high evolutionary Adam Warlock Counter Earth stuff. And it's like, there was no part of me that would have ever thought I would see that in live action. So let's see if that's what we actually get. Because that's what it seems like, but I don't know. And, I think that'll be a small part of the movie. Like, I don't feel like it's going to be like any kind of major. It's like literally probably how they'll introduce Adam Warlock to the Guardians. And then after that, it'll spit off into whatever nonsense that Guardians do.
I want to see the Living Tribunal.
That would be cool. Yeah. Like, I'd take it.
No, are we ready to rate it, or is there anything else?
Yeah.
We should talk?
No, let's rate it. Oz, what would you rate Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania?
2.
2 out of 5.
Yeah, 2.
Okay.
Like most the post-credit stuff is better than the movie.
Yeah.
You talk about bad CGI too, man.
In the post-credits stuff?
Yeah, I don't know, like some of that, like the Rama Tut, like I didn't like how that looked. I don't know if it's CGI or just bad, like arts department.
What was the post-credit thing?
It was the Council of Ricks. I mean, the Council of Kang. The Citadel.
Technically, the Council of Richards.
Right, yeah, technically the Council of Richards.
Because they're all Daniel Richards. So they're...
Listen, why are we all acting like the Council of Kangs doesn't like predate all this stuff?
Because it's funnier that way.
What would you rate Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania?
I would give it 3.5. It's cheesy sci-fi from the 60s in modern day. Little bit of the probability stuff really got me, and I'm like, man, if this is what they're banking on for these Kang, and they laid the foundation in a shitty ass movie, that's a genius move. So it's genius in terms of failing properly. How Thor, the first Thor, how bad the first Thor was. And then you watch Avengers, and it's like, oh man, now I like that movie. Yeah, for what it is. But yeah, and then this one, that Kang gives it a 0.75 plus. So that's where it gets to the 3.5.
Yeah. No, I agree 100%. I would give it a 3, and that's only because of Kang and what Jonathan Majors brings to the table with that character. And I kind of feel what Mo's saying. It's unfortunate because I wouldn't go to somebody and be like, oh man, it was a good movie. I can't say that to somebody. But what I can say is I think you should watch it. Because you get info and you get context that I think will be important moving forward for better movies. And it's they're going to give it to you. You're going to get what you need to know. But it's almost like the difference between when you watch a series of an anime and when they do the compilation movies later. You know what I'm saying? You can watch a compilation movie and you're going to get all the major pop points and beats. You're not going to be lost. But if you want the nuances, you got to watch the actual show. You know what I'm saying? You got to watch that season and watch every individual episode to get all the little nuances and ticks from the different characters and all that kind of stuff. And so yeah,
would you
it's sad.
Timeless?
Would you say what?
Would you say it's timeless?
Is it a comic, a movie version of the comic Timeless? I think it's better than I think Timeless is better than this, personally. I know that, you probably...
It's more
I know that
timely than timeless.
Exactly. Right. I know that you weren't as big of a fan of Timeless, Jay. It might feel like Timeless to you in movie form, honestly. It might feel like that. And so we'll see. Yeah, we'll be hankering to get your opinion next week to hear what you have to say about it, especially based on what we've said so far or whatever. I hope we didn't taint the pool too much for you.
It's dependent on the weather.
Gotcha.
If it's raining, I'm not going to see it.
Gotcha.
Oh, I get it. Because of ants. Yeah,
what?
I get it. That's a good one, Jay. That's a good one because it's Ant-Man and ants don't come out in the rain. I get it.
No, I don't come out in the rain. At least not for Ant-Man.
Damn.
Look,
I do really want to see Cocaine Bear, though.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're in the theater anyway, why not just go see both?
Yeah, it depends on how much it's raining and how much I want to see Cocaine Bear.
Cocaine Bear, Ant-Man, Quantumania, double feature.
Right.
Yeah. Cool. All right, gents. Well, Quantumania. Sheesh. Can we talk about some TV? Talk about
Also, No, it's more about gel coat.
When the fourth round would...
Don't you call in?
Doesn't look good already.
Jumbo Scampi for limited.
All right, Jay, why don't you tell us about Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur series?
But I did it last week.
That's what I told Larry. He said to watch it anyway.
Well, yeah, we're not going to talk about it, but I did the basic rundown of it last week, so now it's someone else's turn.
Okay. Well, I'll do it.
Yeah, you do it, Larry.
I'll do it. So, Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur is a new animated series on the Disney Channel that features Lunella Lafayette as Moon Girl, and she discovers blueprints for a machine that she builds that opens a portal and allows Devil Dinosaur to come into her world in New York, and she befriends this dinosaur, and the two of them decide because the Lower East Side of New York isn't being given the attention it deserves and isn't being championed in the way that she feels it should be championed. They decide to become a superhero duo.
Ms. Marvel, isn't she on the Lower East Side though?
No, she's in New Jersey.
She's
in lower and Easter.
Oh, is that why they keep saying how they don't want to go to Jersey?
Yeah.
But no disrespect.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
In the show.
Yeah, no, I know they say that in the show, but yeah. So, but yeah, she's in Jersey City, which is not Lower East Side, New York.
Right.
So, yeah. So they decided to become a superhero duo of Moon Girl and Devil Dinosaur. And yeah, I mean that's the basic premise of the show. Where we start.
Is Moon Boy in it at all in the first episode?
No Moon Boy.
Is the Moonstone in it?
No Moonstone.
Okay, I'm out. Well, because
I mean,
in the Moon Boy comics, he gets killed by the Killing Folk. And Moon Girl discovers the Moonstone by accident and goes back in time and takes it from Moon Boy, and then after her adventure, she goes back in time and saves Moon Boy. So then we still have Moon Boy, like he didn't die in the comics. They retconned his death through her.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the cartoon's not doing that. I'm out.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's a children's cartoon, so you know,
Moon Boy's a child.
It's also Marvel MCU, so you can't have no Moon Boy.
What if it's a trans homo habilis?
Wait a bit.
Maybe it is Moon Boy, and he's trans, and now he's Moon Girl. Think about that.
Like,
maybe it's Moon Boy. That's why that name Lunella is so on the nose.
I feel like they're not gonna want to have a kids cartoon where one of the characters gets murdered. So that's why.
That's why she's there. Like she stops him from being murdered.
No, I hear what you're saying, but he has to get murdered first for her to go back to stop it.
Mm.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not trying. I don't want to make sense. It's just my default.
We get more of my pimp particles.
like there it is. So, Oz, did you get to watch this at all?
No.
Oh, dude.
I watched the first 20 minutes. I watched the first 20 minutes.
Isn't the first episode only like 25 or 26 minutes long?
Why am I to watch a show about a trans moon boy?
It's 45 minutes.
Was it really 45 minutes?
Yeah.
Is every episode 45 minutes long?
I don't know. I only watched the first 20 minutes of the first episode.
No, the first one is 45. The rest are 24.
Oh, okay. I was about to say, I don't remember it being that long.
That's what she said.
I honestly, and that's I really would have liked to have gotten y'all's opinion on, the obviously it's 6 episodes total.
I have an opinion on what I saw the first 20 minutes.
Okay, and that's fair. Yeah, absolutely. But I wouldn't expected you all to watch the entire 6 episodes. I actually did watch all of them, and I wasn't planning to, or I shouldn't say. Well, let me put it like this: I wasn't intending to watch the first 6 episodes, or all the 6 episodes. I guess is a better way to say it. But what I knew was that, Lawrence Fishburne is one of the executive producers on this show, right? And so he's also acts as the narrator for the show. And then what I knew was that there's a point where Lawrence Fishburne is the Beyonder on the show. And so I was like, well, I want to see Lawrence Fishburne play the Beyonder and what that's all about. Now, it turned out I had to watch all 6 episodes for that to happen. and that's why I ended up watching all of the 6 episodes. Because I'm like, oh, well, Lawrence Fishburne as Beyonder is right around the corner. And then next thing you know, I was like, yes, it was. In my opinion, yes. But here's the thing. And I know Jay, you spoke to this briefly, but definitely chime back in and tell me what your experience is in comparison to what I'm about to say. But I know that first episode, I was like, I don't know about this. But I will say each subsequent episode won me over. And by the time I got to the 6th episode, well, not even the 6th episode, I'll say maybe halfway through, I was like, I think I like this. And I was shocked by that.
I only watched the first 2. Those are the only ones in our Discord. I was going to watch more.
What does that mean? It's only 2 in our Discord.
What do you mean? The first 2 episodes are in our Discord.
But you can watch on Disney Plus.
Well, I was getting to that.
Oh, okay.
I was going to watch it today, but I didn't realize there were 6. They were already up to 6. I thought there was only going to be maybe 3 or 3 and 4, and I was going to watch those. But when I saw there were 6, I was like, I don't know if I want to try and speed watch all of it. And she couldn't even make it onto our thumbnail, so we might not even talk about her.
But why not just watch the 3rd or 4th one then?
He didn't like it.
I'd rather do it all at the same time at my leisure.
Gotcha.
But I will say, no, my experience, I had issues with the first episode, but the second episode was really bad. I liked it much less. and I am gonna watch the rest, but I'm gonna do it on the weekend when I have more time.
And what was it about the second episode that really made you dislike it that much more?
It's not relevant to me. Like, I
Got it.
don't fuck with internet trolls, so I already know how to handle them. I don't need for Moon Girl to tell me how to deal with the internet troll.
Well, yeah, but you understand that you're not the target audience, right?
Doesn't matter.
Well, I mean, who is?
It's how I
Like,
feel about it's how I feel about the episode. Like,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter whether or not I'm the demographic. Like, it matters if I like it or not. Like, yeah, you look at me, you know I'm not the demographic. I'm not going to try and get inside the demographic's head to say whether or not this is good. I'm going to go from my own point of view.
Well, but it's context. You don't feel like that's important?
Sometimes, I guess, but
because you can't be like if you're like, oh, this is trash because there's no depth to it, and you're like, well, it's Dr. Seuss. It's like it's not
like the easiest way to ask Jay or get Jay's answer on it is, Jay, do you think it's bad for children? Like, it's still not going to be good by their standards.
Honestly, if children are too fucking stupid to know how to deal with internet trolls by now, then I mean,
what are you talking? What do you mean stupid? Like Lunella in the show is 13 years old. Like you feel like an 11 or 12 or 13-year-old is stupid because they don't know that they should not like engage with an internet troll? Like, they're a child.
Dude, you should be telling your kids that by the time they enter first grade, you should be telling them don't feed the trolls. Like, that should be something you tell them. Like, brush your teeth, don't feed the trolls.
It's not that the kids are stupid; it's that the parents have failed.
I'm just sitting here like I'm blown away. I'm like, I don't know that. Like, I don't know that I would think of someone as a bad parent because they haven't told their child by second or third grade not to feed internet trolls. It's like, you may not even know that your kid is like on the internet like that.
Then you're a bad parent. You know,
for one, you should know what your child is doing on the internet. For two, like,
why are you all acting like
safety PSAs, and they aim them at young children. So if I could see the safety PSAs, then the children should be able to see them. And the parents should be talking to their children about these PSAs.
The routers come with parental controls these days, so it's not that difficult to know what your kids are doing.
I don't know, man. This sounds like a. Say again?
Emily has the parental controls on me, so I know that they come with that.
I don't know, man. This sounds like
If I had a kid, like if God cursed me with the kid, I would definitely be telling them to, like, I would be telling, as soon as they, like, maybe not preschool or kindergarten, but as soon as they go out into the semi-real world of interacting with assholes, like, I'm going to start telling them shit about life. And one of those things I'm going to tell them is, like, when you're on the internet, don't fucking feed trolls. Because they're just going to, like, don't feed trolls, don't sext out pictures. Like, those are the main two things you should tell your children.
When are you going to start telling your kids that, Jay?
Like, first grade.
First grade, don't sext out pictures?
Yeah.
Okay. Listen, all I'm saying is this.
Look,
I can't.
We grew up in a different time. We didn't grow up in the TikTok generation or the Snapchat or the other. I forgot the app that deletes your shit after like 5 seconds. that people could just take a screen cap of, and now your dick is out there forever for everyone to see. Like, I'm gonna make sure my kids don't get involved with that shit. Like, or at least I'm gonna tell them. So when they do it, then I'm gonna be like, what the fuck?
I told you.
Like, I told you not to.
I told you it was gonna happen.
When
Now
you
you
don't
the
listen.
dumbass.
Okay. Okay, hey. All I'm gonna say is
Jay's a regular Dr. Spock, man.
this sounds like a very convenient conversation to be being had by a bunch of people that have zero children. Like, I'm just saying, I don't know what it's like because I don't have any either. But just
Look, I could
listening
bring
to
up
my
the PSA that tells you not to sext people.
Also,
no,
we all have nieces and nephews, I believe. Like, you know,
Yeah.
if my sister has a kid and her kid starts doing stupid stuff like that, I'm gonna look at her like, why the fuck need to tell you know about the internet? Like, you're younger than me. You know more about the internet. You know about technology. Why aren't you talking to your kid?
So here's a comment from Taken Tugboat. Shout out to Taken Tugboat. Good to see you. As someone who works at 3 different schools, parents don't know nothing. Here's another comment from Take.
As someone who was in a relationship with a teacher for several years, it's not that parents don't know nothing. Is I really think they don't care.
Oh, no parents care about their children, huh?
Not in the inner city.
Oh, come on, man. Get out of here. That's crazy talk.
I was just about to bring up that one story of the dad and his 3-year-old kid is like, I don't know if he pissed himself or started crying or whatever, but the dad was trying to play video games, and so he got pissed off and just killed him. So it's like,
we call that,
and that you feel like that's like a good representation of most parents.
Well, it's an average.
But it's an average story that it does lend to the idea that parents don't care about their kids.
I mean, look, you're probably right, Jay. Most parents would rather.
If we're grading parents on a curve, then that adds to the curve.
It's like you can't pause these online games, so you got to kill your kid instead. You're right. Taking Tugboat also says,
why even have the kid if you're just gonna kill it? Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
And then they're against abortion. Like, they kept the kid because like, I'm anti-abortion.
Apparently not. He did it. Is
late term abortion.
Well, that's
this fool's here.
My death metal hit singles, postpartum abortion.
Oh, jeez. Taking Tugboat says Jay would be a cool dad. Keeps it real, then build Legos with them. There you go, Jay.
I realized that Jay would be trying to play the online game.
Jay would be like, I'm on Final Fantasy. Use the bucket, goddamn! Use the bucket.
Larry. You're fucking peaking, dude. I don't know.
Oh, sorry.
You're just now hearing that?
No, I'm not hearing it. I didn't want to bring it up on the air. I'm like, if I cared that much, I should have been here early to make his audio's good. But this time I couldn't do that. I just, it's terrible. I'm sorry.
I got the mic further away. I'm sorry. I got it over there.
Your input settings. You got to lower your input settings. There's too much gain on the intake.
Okay.
Yeah,
and not
okay. I would definitely spend like a ton of time with them and doing stuff, and I would 100% be watching the shows that they're watching and monitoring a fair amount of their internet just to make sure that everything's good.
I'll tell you what, Jay's kids wouldn't feed the trolls or sex on the internet.
Yeah, that would be the dream. I mean, at some point they're going to make their own bad decisions, but all I can do is guide them and be there for them once they do.
And I think that's what it boils down to. Like, I think it's easy to say what your kids would and would not be doing when you don't have them. But at the end of the day, it's like we all know, like we all have, like, let's think of it like this. Our parents grew up in a less complex time than it is today. And we all know what our upbringings were like. And we know that our parents brought us up, for the most part, with our siblings in a similar way. And yet we all turned out different. Like, we all have a sibling where it's like, you know, one of them that's like, well, man, why does that sibling seem like they were raised by somebody different? You know, they didn't do anything. The parents didn't do anything.
I know the answer to that because they love my sister more than me. That's not even a joke.
The parents
girl, and I understand it.
I remember once, like Oz gave me an iPhone because they just bought her a second iPhone, and she didn't want it.
So I'm just saying.
Here, but she didn't want it.
I'm just saying that some of our parents raised us the same, like us and our siblings the same way, but we turned out different. And it's not because they were paying less attention. Or, you know, maybe in your case, Oz, they loved one more than the other. I don't know. But what I'm saying is, most of us
they should have been paying attention to me. They learned that lesson and didn't make that mistake with my sister.
So,
yeah.
So, I was actually watching someone talk about this show, and they're not comically inclined, but they do like dinosaurs.
Okay.
And they were basically saying that this cartoon takes a lot of influence from We're Back, a Dinosaur Story, because of the character design and the fact that they're in present day.
Wait, it takes influence from what story?
We're Back, a Dinosaur Story. That's a Don Bluth movie that was made in like 1992 or 3.
Yeah, I saw it in the theater.
Right. And this is kind of what they look like. So this is the main one.
Okay.
And
yeah, I mean, I can see that influence.
Here is what Devil Dinosaur looks like.
Am I the only one that's bugged by the fact that none of these dinosaurs have feathers?
Well, it's a period.
None have feathers?
Yeah.
Well, Devil Dinosaur doesn't have any feathers, or his skin itself is like fucked up because the tribe that killed Moon Boy tried to murder him as he was a baby by setting him on fire.
In the cartoon?
Yeah.
I assume
that doesn't happen in the cartoon.
Well, but that portal he went through was I mean, I guess. I mean,
it might have happened off screen.
Yeah.
It just doesn't happen in the cartoon. The same way, like, Moon Boy probably got murdered off screen, but it doesn't happen in the cartoon.
I think my main issue with it was that, you know, We're Back was in 1993, and Devil Dinosaur was created in like 1973. So it seemed, it's just that they think Devil Dinosaur is taking influence from this movie that was made like decades after it.
Yeah.
Well, I think they're saying that this version, like the character design,
because he doesn't look like that in the comics either.
No, he looks like a regular T-Rex in the comic.
Yeah, he doesn't even have the horns.
Red.
Yeah.
Nah, no horns. Yeah, and that's the kind of thing where it's like, it's so weird to me how people make those kinds of changes in shows like this, where it's like, oh well, he's called Devil Dinosaur, so he should have horns, right? And it's like,
I think what they're trying to sell toys and stuff, and when you design something, the silhouette's got to sell it. You know what I mean? Like even when he first shows up, the shadow, it's like before you see what comes through, you see the shadow, and it's got the horns, and that's the thing. Like that little, it's marketing.
Yeah.
But I mean, this is what he looked like in '78 or '73.
I just love that shit, man.
It's like, yeah.
Boomboy's a Neanderthal?
He's Homo habilis.
Oh, so he's into dudes?
Yeah.
Yeah, like it doesn't even, I don't know, like we're back, more likely took influence from Devil Dinosaur than the other way around.
I mean, I feel like a T-Rex is a T-Rex in some ways, right? And it's not to say like, I don't feel like Don Bluth looked at this and was like, oh, this is how I'm going to design my T-Rex. But
well, why do you make him red then?
He didn't make him red, did he?
He's red enough.
The picture you showed us was brown.
No, it was red with black spots.
Of the Don Bluth dinosaur?
Oh, I thought you meant the cartoon one.
No, he's talking about the Don Bluth dinosaur. Yeah, right? Like the Don Bluth dinosaur doesn't look at Devil Dinosaur, and it's like taking inspiration from that. But at the same time,
that's red. It's like red and tan.
I would call that brown and tan.
I would call that copper, but a lot of people call that color red.
Okay. I don't look at that and in my mind like, oh, that's a red dinosaur. But I can see that. I can see copper, and I can see like it. And I would definitely, if you want to say, oh, it has a red undertone, sure, but it's not a red dinosaur. Like red is a color that we all recognize. That's not red. Like
Taking Tugboat says, so we are back to saying devil in kids shows. Let's go. No more Slade. Say Deathstroke.
No,
not gonna lie.
We're gonna skip the comment where he says I'm right, but okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I was a little surprised that they did let that fly.
Me too.
But she says devil a few times in the show.
But
is there really a thing about saying devil in a kids show?
Yes,
100%, 100%. And but what I will say is she does call him Dev for short, and most of the references to him are Dev.
But
not
Devil
when
Dinosaur doesn't like kill.
But when she's like excited, she says, or when yelling, she says devil.
Yeah, no, I'm not saying she doesn't say it. I'm not. She does say it, and it's definitely a thing that I noticed myself. I'm like, oh wow, like when she just straight up was like, I'm thinking we'll call him Devil for short, and I'm like, oh wow, they just went out there and said it. Like I noticed it myself, and she was like, oh, Devil, I can work with that. Like her friend that is totally created for the show. Like the social media person, and I'm like, okay, cool, like but. What I will say is it doesn't feel like through the course of the show, they don't say devil it's not like they refer to him as Devil Dino all the time. They refer to him sometimes as Dev. And which, but it's enough. Like they definitely don't shy away completely from the Devil Dinosaur moniker. And that's surprising for a show that's on Disney Channel. You know what I mean? I'm like, wow, right. Okay. But what I will say is this, is there are parts of it that I disliked. because they obviously take liberties with the character. You know, like she's not Inhuman, or there's no mention of Inhuman in this. It's literally just like her, like being the like hyper intelligent like chick that she is, and then having, they don't ever actually explain how it is that she like has control, or I won't even say control, because it's like Devil Dinosaur doesn't. It's more like Devil Dinosaur has a certain amount. Well, no, I guess no, but some of it is control. Like she has like a certain amount of control over Devil Dinosaur, but they don't explain how that happens.
No, they do explain it. Like he comes out in that rage. I watched the first 20 minutes, and that happened in the first 20 minutes.
They don't explain it.
Like she started feeding him hot dogs. She gave him hot dogs, and then he sees her, and where he sees everything red, he sees her green, and she even says, "Like I'm not your mother," because like she could tell that he imprinted on her, almost like a wolf. It's exactly how it happened to Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur. Like he imprinted with them because of their interaction, and he helped them and saved them. You know.
But
and
like
here that's what it is.
It's like a loyal dog.
But in Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur, in Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur, that happens when Devil Dinosaur is like a baby, which is when imprinting happens, right?
But it's the situation. Yeah, but like was it Stegman, Stegarman, like the Stegosaurus hero, like he can talk to Devil Dinosaur too, because like Devil Dinosaur does this with people. Where, like you can tell, yeah, he can imprint on them to a certain degree, you know.
Wow, I don't know, man. Like
I was gonna say that too, because you can. She actually doesn't really have control of him. Like you look at the third episode, and she's like, "Do this," and he's like, "Fuck you." And she has to like basically just trick him, and then he just goes and fucks himself up again. So it's like,
yeah,
he doesn't really have control. He's like a pet friend,
right?
Like I said, like a little dog.
Like there is a point where she actually like a scene where she actually like trains him. And during that course of that training is when she like gets a bit more control, but at the same time, it's still not like in the comic. She literally can exchange her consciousness for Devil Dino's consciousness.
Yeah, that's,
so
we're not
like
talking
literally
about
like their minds switch bodies.
Comics. We're not talking about comics. We're talking about TV shows.
I'm making a comparison. And so that's what I'm saying. Like the comic, like that aspect of the comic never comes into play in the television show at all. And so yeah, it's a different thing, obviously. And you know, I get it. It's like it's a kid's show, so they're just like, hey, they're friends. Taking Tugboat says,
but just because
just want to say if you
like, yeah.
Say again?
No,
go
ahead and read it. I'm gonna lag and
no, it's okay. Like you can. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, just want to say, if you want to see a cool dinosaur, everyone should watch Primal. Was what Taking Tugboat says.
I'm gonna go ahead and agree, despite not having watched it yet.
That's really. I've watched Primal, and that's Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur. Primal, and that's Moon Boy and Devil Dinosaur.
Well, it's Moon Man.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how it is, except that he in Primal, he's like he saves the mom and the kid die, so he like partners up with the mom. And I mean, Primal's amazing. Like, don't get me wrong, but yeah, Moon Boy fights like whole kill folk people. Yeah.
Yeah. So I will say that it's interesting because the show does actually use like villains from like Marvel. Like it uses some wild, like obscure ones, and then there's even a point like towards the end, like towards the latter episodes, where they will do like variations of heroes that exist. Like there was like they made well, they made a female version of Stiltman, but they called her Stiletto. And so but it's basically like it's which there was a female version of Stiltman in the comics as well. That was
Stiltman.
Was she wasn't Stiltwoman?
No, she was Stiltman.
I didn't remember that.
That's why
yeah,
it was progressive.
Right. So yeah, but no, they made a female Stiltman and Stiletto, whatever, and like the first episode. Well, you don't find out in the first episode, but they use Aftershock, which I was like, man, like that's a ridiculously deep cut. You know, like that. There's no good reason anybody would know that was a real villain in Marvel Comics, but but they have other villains like that throughout the course of the thing, and then of course, like I mentioned, they do have Beyonder eventually in the show too.
Do you know how many episodes are in this first season?
I thought they did. I know the right answer is no. Are they coming out weekly?
I don't know. Like
I
said,
I thought it was just these. Yeah, I thought it was just these 6 and that's it. But I could be wrong.
Okay.
It might be coming out weekly. I don't know.
With the Aftershock knowing her identity, does that ever come into play again?
Did you see like a resolution for Aftershock?
I saw the end of the first episode.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, they do more. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah. And the other thing I'll say about the show, which I'm like, and I know that this didn't go or didn't sit as well with Jay, is like each episode basically teaches like a life lesson. And I feel like it does it in a way that's not like it's in the course of the narrative. It's not like over your head. It's not, or it doesn't hit you over the head with it necessarily, especially I think if you're a kid. Obviously, like, as an adult watching, you're like, oh no, I know exactly where they're going with this, but that's because you're an adult, but yeah, it's good stuff. And it's like, it's stuff that's built into the stories in a way that's not obtrusive. It's not like, knowing is half the battle, it's not like that, but it's pretty cool. Like I was like, oh, that's really interesting. Like I feel like if I was a little kid watching this joint, I would be like, man, I'm gonna remember that, Like I remember like there are lessons I remember from like cartoons like Garfield and Friends that that stuck with me because it felt like it was, told to me in a way that wasn't like, it didn't feel preachy. And I feel like this is doing that in a similar way. So
I remember Garfield and Friends being very preachy.
Yeah?
Well, at least that one episode with the mug.
What they preach about?
Not being an asshole.
Right.
You sure it wasn't Heathcliff? Nah, nothing.
All right. So what would you rate it, Jay? I know you did it already, but what would you do again?
So far, I would give it a 3. It's different. I don't like that it's different, but it's fine, I guess. It's a little too tropey for my taste.
Mm.
But so far, I'm willing to watch more of it.
Yeah. I like it. It has its downsides though. Like, I like the music, but then the other side of that is every episode has like kind of like a musical number at the end where they have like the big fight or whatever, or the big, and they do a weird inverse color scheme-ish kind of thing, or monochromatic-ish kind of thing that I'm not a big fan of. The music is good, but I just don't like that. I don't know. Like it's a weird thing that I'm not a big fan of. But
not to dunk on Moon Girl, but Kipo and the Wonder Beast, Age of Wonder Beast, has amazing music. Like,
okay,
so much better than Moon Girl.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Like,
what kind
Moon
of
Girl's not
music
bad
is it
so far, but Kipo is amazing.
How do you spell that?
Kipo.
Oh, okay. What did you ask, Mo?
What kind of music is it?
Kipo. Moon Girl?
Oh no.
I know what Moon Girl is. I already I watched the musical number.
Oh, Kipo has a lot of hip hop, but it also has like rock, country, swing, different genres, and a lot of like a lot of hip hop in their beats.
And I'm just gonna put out there that Moses, you don't know what kind of music they have because you haven't watched enough Moon Girl to know.
I watched the first episode. It had a musical. I thought it was in the 70s, like just with the animation itself and them having a skating rink. And I'm like, oh, this is tight.
Yeah.
And then the little girl put like it felt like an old cartoon, and I liked it. Now I guess I'm not qualified enough to review it, Larry, as you keep pointing out. But I did like the animation style, and I like the art style. But I feel like maybe 20 minutes I can't even express that opinion, I guess. But yeah.
No, I'm just saying the music changes sometimes from the beginning of the episode to the end of the episode, and then from episode to episode. So you can't be like, oh, I know what the music likes in Moon Girl because I watched 20 minutes.
I have a pretty good idea.
It's like
I have an inkling that it's fairly similar to what I heard in the first episode.
No, but that's what I'm saying to you. It's like the first episode, like there are some similarities that are throughout the
fairly
the series.
Yeah.
But there's also some major departures from the style that you heard throughout the series too. So that's all I'm saying is
there a metal?
I don't want you to put.
So
no, there's no metal.
Okay.
I would rate it a 4. Yeah,
okay.
I liked it. I didn't think I would. But I did. Like, especially like even just watching
Moon Girl, right?
No, I'm not a fan of Moon Girl so much as a character. Like, I got respect for the character, but it's not like I've read Moon Girl comics and not particularly enjoyed them. They're all right. You know what I'm saying? Like the latest one I've read, and I didn't like that one. I've liked some of the ones in the past more so. I appreciate the character, and I like seeing her interact with other characters in the Marvel universe, but more so in other books. Like, I don't want to read a Moon Girl comic, but I don't mind Moon Girl showing up in, like, say, a random Avengers or in like a Champions book.
She was
or
actually really
like
good
that.
in Champions.
Yeah. No, like she's better, in my opinion, when she's featured in somebody else's book than when I'm reading her own stuff. Because I feel like, I don't know. But what I can say is I've enjoyed this show much more than any individual Moon Girl comic book I've ever read.
Even
So
with that,
I was
like not having the Inhuman stuff, no Moonstone, no Moon Boy.
Yeah, no, I just like honestly, it's like, and don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying that I would prefer that stuff not to be a part of the animated series or some other kind of multimedia Moon Girl or Devil Dinosaur stuff in the future. I would love to see that stuff incorporated, honestly, just because I like my stuff more like the comics. But what I can say is, yeah, like the Moon Girl stuff I've read hasn't really been that interesting to me. And this I at least found entertaining and was like, yeah, like I said, I wasn't planning on watching all these episodes, but I did. And by the time I got to the end of these episodes, I was like, dude, like I like this. Like I would watch another episode right now.
So are we ready for final thoughts?
And Snap.
You like the card and Snap, right? I agree. Yeah. No, I think it's about that time. Unless you all got something else y'all want to say, or about Moon Girl. Nope. All right, let's do some final thoughts.
Hold on, I had to restart my computer because my audio was cutting out.
We understand.
Yeah, let's just do them and add it in post.
Do it live. Jay, give us some final thoughts, buddy.
Skip me, or no, I'll pass until next week.
Okay. All right. Oscore, final
No
thoughts.
subscribe, like, hit the bell.
What?
Watch the first episode of Picard season 3, and this one might actually be decent.
All right. There it is. Mose Magnum, final thoughts.
Buy merch because apparently I need a new computer. So buy the merch at fantasticforum.live and then do like, subscribe, hit the bell for more riveting content like we've been bringing.
Right.
I'm excited about it too.
Yeah.
For the entire Fantastic Forum, thank you all for hanging out with us. We do appreciate you, and we do appreciate the support you do give us. So, please continue. And like Moses said, like, subscribe, hit the bell notification. If it's not too much trouble, let us know what you like and what you don't. Buy some merch. Let us know what you like and what you don't like and what you'd like us to cover more of. We'll listen. So please reach out. We are the Fantastic Forum. Until next time, good night.